Erev Shabbat Shalom Rabotai. We are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Nedarim. We are up to Perek Gimel Mishnah Bet. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'ilun Nishmat Neria ben Svetlana Ranbai V'Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelo ben Chana bat Miriam Menuchatam beGan Eden Amen and Abdi ben Chaim L'Chaim V'Derefua Shenemav Daniel Shalom ben Rosa B'Tor Shar Cholei Israel. The second category, which is vows of exaggeration, Nidre Havai. These are examples of vows of exaggeration. Amar konam im lo ra'iti baderech hazeh ki yotzei Mitzrayim. Someone said, my loaf of bread shall be like a konam to me if I did not see on this road as many people as the number of men who left Mitzrayim, which is 600,000. Im lo ra'iti nachash ki korat bet abad. Someone said, my loaf of bread shall be like a konam to me if I did not see a snake that looked like the beam of an olive press. This is a heavy beam that is lowered onto the olives and squeezes the oil out of them. It is wide at the bottom and its sides slope inward, meeting at the top. The literal meaning of the person's words is that he had seen a snake with this triangular shape. These are clearly exaggerations and were never meant to be understood literally. It is impossible for someone to see 600,000 people in one place. Rather, he meant that he saw a huge crowd. It is also impossible to see a snake shaped like the beam of an olive press because no such snake exists. His intent was that the snake looked somewhat like such a beam. The general rule is that the meaning of a neder depends on the way people normally express themselves. Therefore, since people tend to exaggerate in these ways, this person's statement can be understood as an exaggeration and not an exact statement of fact. Therefore, even though the person did not actually see 600,000 people or a snake that resembled an olive press beam, the prohibition does not take effect. The third category, which is vows of mistakes. Nidre shegagot, these are examples of vows of mistakes. Imachalti v'imshatiti, someone said, my loaf of bread should be like a konam to me if I ate or drank today, and he thought at the time that he had not eaten or drunk that day, v'niskar shechal v'shata, and then he remembered that he had eaten or drunk that day. This neder is not binding because it was based on a mistake. Another example of vows of mistakes, she'ani ochel v'shani shoteh, someone said, my loaf shall be like a konam to me if I eat or drink today, v'shachach v'achal v'shata, and then he forgot about his neder and he ate or drank. Since at the time of eating or drinking he did not realize that he would thereby cause a neder to take effect, this too is a neder based on a mistake. A verse in the Torah is interpreted as teaching that a neder or shvuah is valid only if the person is aware of it when it is supposed to take effect. In the Mishnah's case, the prohibition was supposed to take effect when the person eats or drinks, but he did not remember the neder at that time. It is therefore invalid. A third example of vows of mistakes. Amar konam ishti ne'eneli sheganva et kisi v'shehikita et b'ni. Someone said, that which my wife benefits from me is like a konam to her because she stole my wallet or because she hit my son, thinking that she had indeed done these things. V'noda shelo hikatu v'noda shelo genavatu. And then it became known that she had not hit his son, or it became known that she had not stolen from him. Since he made the neder only because of information that was later found to be untrue, it does not take effect. A fourth example concerning which there is a dispute, someone saw people eating his figs without his permission, and he said to them, they are forbidden to you like a kurban. But then the people eating his figs were found to be his father and his brothers, among others. This is also a neder based on a mistake because he surely did not intend to prohibit his own father and brothers to eat his figs. There is a question, however, whether the neder is invalid only with respect to his father and brothers or with respect to others as well. Bet Shammai Amrim, Bet Shammai say, Hen mutarin umashi imen asurin. His father and brothers are allowed to eat the figs, but those who are with them are forbidden to do so because the part of the neder that applies to others remains in force. According to Bet Shammai, only the part of the neder that was made in error, namely the prohibition that was put on his father and brothers, is void. The rest of the neder, which was not a mistake, is valid. But Bet Hillel say, Elu ve'elu mutarin, both the father and brothers and the other people are permitted to eat the figs because every part of the neder is invalid. Bet Hillel hold that when part of a neder is nullified, the entire neder is nullified, and their reason is that a person wants his neder to take effect exactly the way he worked it. So if part of the neder is based on a mistake which prevents the neder from taking effect in the manner he wanted, the entire neder is void. That is on Abotav Mishnah Bet. Mishnah Gimel now discusses the fourth and final category, the Nedarim of unavoidable circumstances. Nidre on Nasim. This is an example of Nedarim of unavoidable circumstances. Hidiro chavero sheyochal etzlo. One person made a neder against another so that the latter will eat with him. For example, Reuven said to Shimon, "My possession shall be prohibited to you if you do not eat with me." Now, this is not a vow of persuasion, which we discussed in Mishnah 1, because Reuven was not trying to persuade Shimon to join him. Rather, Shimon had also been invited to eat elsewhere, but he preferred to eat with Reuven. He therefore asked Reuven to make the neder so that he would have an excuse to reject the other invitation. Then Shimon got sick and could not go to eat with Reuven, or his son got sick and needed his father to take care for him, or a river swelled unexpectedly and prevented him from going. These are all cases in which we apply the laws of Nedarim of unavoidable circumstances, because it is impossible or very difficult to avoid fulfilling the condition which a neder was based. The one who made the neder never intended for it to take effect in such circumstances, and so it is not binding. When a person makes a neder dependent on certain condition, X is forbidden if Y is done. He does not have in mind that the prohibition will take effect even if the condition takes place unavoidably. He did not have to say this explicitly because it is clear that this was his intent. That is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Everybody should have a Erev Shabbat Shalom. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.